Oh, Poodle fam, here we are. We are back. It is Wednesday. It is my weekly therapy with my Poodle fam. Oh my gosh, if we had a week. Hopefully you enjoyed last week's episode. And wow, it was crazy because I think actually our guest today, who I'll introduce in a second, is going to really put the cherry on the top of last week's episode. Because, you know, as we've been doing a lot of research into how our token really works in a larger, you know, kind of economic scheme, looking at our investing, how our investors are holding or not holding, and what we need to do to kind of go over the top. Alex and I have been doing a lot of conversations kind of on the back end about this. And so it was really some things that he and I were talking about that led me to do some of the research that was last week's episode. So this is going to be great to follow up with. So really, with no further ado, and make sure I'm going to watch the chat. Remember, a couple times when we brought some Zoom in, we didn't always get the audio through. So hopefully it will work. But Alex Gray, welcome to the show. Please tell everyone who you are, and of course, you know, how you kind of got into to Poodle and your crypto story. So welcome to the show.
Hello, Joe. Hello, everyone. And yeah, I'm glad to be here talking to you and to the community. And I'm so excited about Poodle and everything that is associated with that. I mean, I just have no words to describe the excitement. Okay. Now, in how I got into this crypto world, and then I will explain you how I got into Poodle thing. When into crypto, it was just simple. I just been recommended by a friend, said, look, you know, you have to look into this because it's something really crazy. That was back in 2000, I think 11, when I was recommended to look into the Bitcoin thing. I completely ignored it, and I never ever, you know, pay any attention to that for a couple of years when Ethereum came out. But then when Ethereum came out again, I just said, oh, look, you know, now is another one trying to copy this Bitcoin thing. You never know what's going to be. And, you know, the price fluctuations at the time was so completely crazy. You just didn't want to enter into it. I mean, it was like 95% drops and then 150% tomorrow. It just didn't make any sense to me, I mean, financially. So, of course, I decided to just stay out of it. And then I decided to stay out of it with Ethereum as well. So by the time I got into it, it was back in 2016 when I really, you know, really paid attention to it. And then I got a bit of Ethereum, a bit of Bitcoin, still not bad at the time, but, you know, so that's how I started on. And then, you know, the cryptocurrencies started to multiply like crazy. And, you know, slowly, I got a little bit of a Ripple too, and a little bit of a DOGE too. But then again, I just keep selling them after I made like 2 or 3 X's, and that's it. That was it. So that's how I started. Now, that was crypto. But in Poodle, it was back in March when I heard about it. I was into another project, you know, since I think very, very long time, but I started to get very heavily into it approximately in October last year. And then I was promoting that on my channel as well, on Twitter, to my friends and everybody. And I was very, very sure that is going to go well too, and it did. But then as soon as you get to a point when I decided to exit almost all of it, then I found out about Poodle. And, you know, this thing there, it really, really caught my attention from the beginning because of the community that we have. I mean, I just couldn't believe, even at the time, I was so excited about the community. I've been in many, many projects, you know, over the years, but this community really got me. And I really hope that we are going to go into that same direction, because we are really such a great community that you really cannot find, Joe, these days. I mean, that really got me. So that's why I decided to just stay into Poodle and really put a lot of effort into it. And I'm not going to stop anytime soon. I think many years from now, I'll still be here. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that story. It's so funny. You gave me so many places to go with that, because it's funny, because back in, say it was about 2016 too. I think I had the same thing. I had people asking me, "What do you think of this Bitcoin thing?" And you think of this, cryptocurrencies and blockchain. And I remember the first times I heard about it, maybe even a little before that, probably even a little bit before then, and like writing it off and going, well, this is like the stupidest thing ever. I mean, who's going to invest something that's not real? I mean, like this is and it's so funny because now, I'm here hosting a podcast about an altcoin that has a huge future with a utility and a huge purpose behind it. So it's funny how what, we used to think and then how we look now. And I think a lot of that, maybe tell me if you agree or disagree. I think that what I believed before is how most of the world kind of is right now, but the light bulbs are starting to go off. They're seeing cryptocurrencies and blockchain really take off, and there is a unique curiosity about it that now, no, that was 5 years ago for me, but I think that's kind of where we're at right now. We're at that transition point for just general society. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, exactly, because what people, I think, start to understand is not just that you make this quick, money in crypto. It's just that you have this thing that took off with such a force that nobody ever anticipated before. It's okay. I understand there are so many instruments in which you can really make quite a bit of money, but nothing compares to the crypto. I mean, if you're just realistic about it, you can see so many examples when we've seen, like, okay, forget about Bitcoin because he's the starter, but everything else. I mean, every project literally which is a little bit serious, and you can really, you can really consider them serious. They all thousands of X's. I mean, many thousands of X's. That in real world, in our world, in my world, in my financial world, in my friends' financial, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And then, of course, many people, when they experience that, they will talk about it like I am talking about it since I started to experience that. So, of course, this transition from being absolutely nothing like 6, 7, 8 years ago to this massive amount of money being, plunged into the blockchain every single day, it's like mind-blowing. And I think that's not just for us. I think it's even for the governments and for the authorities. And everybody's just like, what is just happening? Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense from $1.93 put in Shiba in December to make like $1.6 million. It doesn't make any sense, yet it happens. It happens in Shiba, it happens in Bitcoin, it will happen in Poodle. It's just a matter of time. It happens, and that's crypto. And that's not because someone is hyping it out. No, it's just because people believe that for some reason Shiba will have a value, and they start putting money into it like crazy. It's not about FOMO log. If you think, oh, people will FOMO in, yes, I understand that is part of the process, but that happens in everything. That happens in properties, it happens in dollars, it happens on everything. So it's not about that. It's about people believing that this thing will have a value in future. And they prefer to have it. They don't just buy, one thing now and sell it tomorrow. No, for example, they brought Shiba in December. Many of them still, they don't think of selling it. Yeah. So it's not about just getting it today and selling it tomorrow because you think, oh, I'm going to make some money. People really believe. So we have a community in crypto. We have a community of people. Okay, probably some of it which speculate, like, they quickly want to make some money, but most of it, they really believe in what they put the money in. That's why you have these thousands and thousands of holders, even after 12 years of Bitcoin. Man, I mean, think about it. There was people that brought the Bitcoin with 4 cents. And now we have 60,000 and they still hold. You have wallets that was never touched. Some of them probably Satoshi, but most of them, I'm sure there are serious holders that don't want to touch their wallets. They touch it a bit, or maybe they sell it like, I don't know, half of a percent. But other than that, they just keep it intact. Isn't that crazy? I mean, if you think about it, that's a crazy transition. It's not like you are greedy and you don't want to sell. No, you believe in it. And we have the same thing in Poodle too. There are holders that didn't touch the wallet. Well, pure example is me. So I just don't see. If I could just transfer my thinking to our holders, man, we would be 1,000 million X tomorrow.
No kidding.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yes, it's just so exciting to be in crypto and the transition. Yeah, it's just amazing.
I love that. I love that thought. And it kind of goes off of the data I was sharing last week about how close we are to really mooning if people just decided to hold a little bit, like literally a week's worth of buys could completely transition this token. So what is your thought? Why I think you make a good point about our community. We have such a dedicated and caring community. I mean, gosh, even before this, about 3 hours ago, before this, we were, we're sitting there helping and getting message to help somebody who needed to connect their wallet and find the tokens, right?
Yes,
this is the kind
exactly.
of this is the kind of help we do, right? So while we have that as one side of the community, well, how can we also why can't we get over that hump of, like the dedicated, like everyone, and we also see this too. How many times have we seen on the Telegram where people go, oh, I really, really still believe it, but I got to sell a little bit. Well, you don't believe if you're going to sell. Like those two things don't go together, because to believe in the project is to sit here and recognize the long-term potential of it, right? How do we make that transition?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it's very attractive to sell. I mean, just think about it. We was like to 1.1. It was just months ago, Joe. And then you go to 12. That is 10x. Like I said, a few minutes before, that just doesn't happen in the real world. You need you just don't accumulate 10x in like a month. Mm-hmm. So of course, some people seems that it's a very attractive point for them to exit. They think, or not to exit, to get out, or maybe they think they already capture some of it back in the next few days or weeks or whatever. But the reason why I think they just decide to go out is because they think, okay, so I made this amount of money. Now let me see. Maybe I'll just be okay with that. Or maybe if I see that Poodle goes up again, I'll probably put back in some of it. But if you check the wallets, Joe, I'm not saying that they don't do that. They do, yes. But the majority of it, they are holding. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, I mean, if you just check the wallets that sell, there are not many. We're talking approximately 150 wallets that sell and buy all the time. They do these transactions. But then the others they just keep. They don't bother to sell, and that is what I am interested in. I don't mm-hmm. care that we have even 1,000 sellers from the 26,000 or from 52,000, completely with the exchanges, because I think we are about 50,000 holders.
Yeah.
If we include the exchanges as well. So if you think about it, 50,000, but then 1,000 of them sells, that's fine. That's fine by me. I managed to track approximately 120 addresses, which really make transactions pretty heavily. I mean, they get in, out. Some of them, they don't get back in. But most of them, I mean, the rest of it, they just hold. They don't bother to sell, you see? And that is big. That for me speaks volume. I think they really think that Poodle will go very, very far. And that is what we need in Poodle. We need people who believes. It's okay, those who sell, let them sell. Joe, let them sell. They just give us every time they get in and out, they just give us the percentages that we know that comes back to us, which is 3%. So I think that's okay. Let them just buy and sell. They create the volume. What can we do? We can't stop them. Mm. And those people who usually do that, majority of it, they having a large portfolio, like, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300 billions. So of course because we are such a small, we have such a small volume at the moment, of course they in a way manipulate the price with that. But we don't care really. I really don't care. All I care is to see Poodle 1,000x from here. I don't care of anything else. I really don't. I mean,
yeah. No, I totally agree with you, and I love that outlook. especially when you put it in the big picture. And I know you are a wallet tracker, so I want to get to that a little bit, because I think it's really easy to see, like, and we do that. I do this all the time, and we see it on the Telegram. You know, we get a little momentum, and then you see the sell, sell, sell. And then we get some momentum, and then you see the sell. And it's like, oh, seriously, people, what's going on? But I love how you put it in the bigger picture of it's really only about 100 wallets of the 50,000 wallets. And it's really only, even if you said, if you lost 1,000 of our 50,000 people, well, that's not a big percentage, but for some reason it kind of keeps us at that hump that we just need to get past. Like we need, and maybe it has to do with just the members, growing the, the total holders, so that the few who do the volume don't have as much of an impact. So what to you then? And I guess I have two questions, and I'm going to ask them both, but you can, just so that I remember them. One, what's your fascination with watching the wallets? But then two, what is the advice you give for everybody? Because if we are already all holding, then what can we do? Like a lot of people just can't. If you're holding, you're holding. It's one thing to say stop selling, but if you're not selling, then so what actions can the average person take? And then what is your fascination with watching the wallets? Two questions there for you.
Well, okay. So when someone see that we have sales, they don't need to look at it like a bad thing, because actually it's not. Okay. So just imagine, first of all, we need to be grateful that we have buyers, and then we have sellers too. Of course we have. I mean, you even sell your house or your apartments. Why would you not sell Poodle, especially when you made 10x on it after 2 months? So it doesn't really matter. So it's okay for them to sell. I don't see any problem with that. And I just love to see our holder base increasing. That's what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And that's what we should look for too, because just imagine Shiba, I think at the moment they have approximately 400,000. They got to 400 something thousand. I don't know. But imagine when we get to that point. Mm-hmm. Joe, I'm telling you, we are approximately, I don't know, at least 150x from here, maybe even more. So that is what we need to look for, because at one point, these buyers and sellers, they are not going to compensate the holders. It's impossible for them to do that, right? And I think even in Bitcoin log, no matter how much they buy and sell, they couldn't stop the Bitcoin price increasing. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. And why it's increasing? Because the number of holders increase, and the number of sellers, even if it grows, it doesn't matter. They don't outsmart the holders. It's impossible. Just for a quick example, there was a guy, I think it was 2 weeks ago, who brought 1.4 trillion tokens in approximately 10 minutes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now that guy took off the market 1.3 trillion. So no matter what other sellers do, they don't have the 1.2 trillion. It's there. It's on that wallet, which doesn't sell. By the way, he just topped up yesterday again with 50 billion or whatever. So it's just that kind of a thing that you need to look at, the positivity of it. So when you have someone coming into Poodle and then he decides to put $120,000 in Poodle so quickly, I mean, you need to think, wow, I mean, is this guy, okay? When me, I'm thinking to sell like $1,000 of Poodle. And he, on the other hand, he buys 120,000. So who is the smart one here? Is the one that sells 1,000 or the one that buys 120,000? You need to follow the money, Joe. Yeah. I mean, that guy is not stupid. And if you think about it, he's already in minus 65%, and he don't bother. He don't care. So he's not, going rush to his wallet to start selling it, because he knows that his Poodle will worth a couple of billions in the next few years. Who knows? He knows that. Right? Yeah. So he knows, and that's why he don't bother to sell. People who do these kind of decisions, they know what they are doing. And then are these little more small investments like 1,000, 2,000, 500, which again, they hold, Joe. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like. And like I said, those speculators, like I said, probably, I don't know, 120 of them, let them buy and sell. And you were saying we've lost 100 wallets. Well, actually, we didn't lost anything, because I don't know exactly how much we lost, to be honest, because if I put my head into it, I could find out how many holders we actually really lost. But it's very hard to say that, because, even those you think you've lost it, they come back, man. Mm-hmm. And some of them, they come back and they buy back again. more than they sold because they made this profit on it, right? So they sold it at 12 and then they buy it back at 4, and you just see them buying 120 billion, then they sold the 40. So it's a nice thing. Bravo to them. I mean, if they really can speculate on that thing, bravo. It's okay. Some of them, you know what they do? Some of them, they just sell Poodle for something else. Maybe they see, we had one guy on board. His name is, I don't know, his name, I think it's Alex or whatever, ironically. But he was on board too. And he decided to sell for something else. And then he ran into a massive loss. So you don't play with these things like, oh, I'm going to sell Poodle and then buy something else. Just hold it if you can. Or if you're not, you just keep playing, but you never know when you're going to lose it, you see. So it's good to be cautious on that. Now for your other question that you said that was
your fascination with watching the wallet.
Fascination about the wallets. Okay, look, I like it so much because if you do that, I'm not encouraging everybody to do it because it takes a lot of time, but if you really have the time to do it like I do, okay, the reason why I am doing it is because I'm investing into Poodle and I want to know what people do behind the scene. I don't care about the candles. I want to look a little bit into the psychology of things, if you want. What do they think? Why do they sell? What happens? What they really think about? And that's why I'm so confident that everything is okay, because everything is absolutely fine. Let them just sell. I like to see sellers coming back and turning into buyers and into a very serious holders. So for example, one guy that sells 40 billion today and buy 120 billion tomorrow, that guy have no plan to go soon from Poodle. And I am telling you, Joe, that even those people that are from the beginning, the major holders of Poodle, they are going to come back. And probably they are back. Many of them probably we don't even know. And you can't tell that. But they are not going to forget Poodle soon. There is wallet, for example, which sold 4 months ago and buy back in 2 weeks ago. You see, so they don't forget about Poodle. Don't think that if someone goes out today, they will forget about Poodle. No, Poodle is there in the back of their mind. And very, very, very few are leaving us forever. And that's what I like so much, because at one point, we are going to have so many holders and Poodle friends and Poodle lovers that no cells are going to outgrow those numbers. And that is when we are going to have our momentum and go up, and nothing will stop Poodle from growing. Trust me on that. You will see. This is serious. It's going to go live. It's going to the record. And it will happen. So there's no doubt about it. You can just check it. It's just simple to me. It will happen.
Yeah. No, I love it. And I love your enthusiasm and your confidence behind it, because we have the same confidence, but you say it. And because what I respect about it is because you do watch it. When people say follow the money, you really do follow the money. And what's interesting, and, tell me if I'm wrong, but one thing that I noticed, and you made this point about like the person who bought 1.3 trillion, and it's really easy. Like, I think that, especially like on the telegrams or on the socials, it's really easy to get, the mud, like all of sometimes the negativity can take over. Like, especially when you see someone go, I bought $100 worth, and it's only worth 50 now. And you'll see that, and like, that's not a long-term mentality. Yet you'll see, we have a lot of wallets where they bought 100 billion and then they've just left it. And they've done nothing with it, and you don't hear them. Those are probably those people that you were saying who were in early, sold maybe for other projects, but then recognized, oh, Poodle's still around. Poodle's building a utility. Poodle has a purpose. I maybe not be involved anymore, but I'm not going to lose out on this money opportunity. So they'll buy 100 billion, and then they'll just let it sit there. And so a lot of times you get the conversations from the people that are worried about the $50 here and there. But the ones that are throwing $100,000 in they know something we don't know. Well, you and I know. We know we believe in the project. But think about it. If you want to say follow the money, where is the big money going? The big money is actually coming in. The big money is not going out. And that's what's interesting, because they understand, that there's something that's going to be special, because people with that kind of money don't make decisions like that for no reason. Right? Like for you and me, it might be easy to take any random token and throw $50 or $100 at it and say, all right, we'll see what happens. No one takes $100,000 and just decides, oh, I'm just going to see what happens. They have to believe in it, right?
Exactly. That is what I mean. So you don't look for people who invest 500. Okay, don't get me wrong. Okay, every little holder is important for Poodle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. Even $50, bravo, welcome. And there was one guy in UK that put $17 and now have 5.7 million in Shiba. So it's possible. So in crypto, everything is possible. So if every little holder, it matters. But what I mean is you need to follow the money. You need to see how much money someone is throwing into Poodle. Because when someone is putting a lot of money into something, it doesn't matter there is a property on a fancy street, or it doesn't matter that it's a special gift to someone. You know that that's something that they brought, it's something special. Because otherwise they wouldn't put the money on it, Joe. They will just not put the money. So they put the money into Poodle because they know they made their research for sure. I mean, you don't need to tell those people what to buy and not to buy. And they definitely believe that 120,000 they put in, they will multiply it by many, 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 many times, and you're going to make a lot of money out of it, because that's how crypto works. And they know that. And they are very rarely you will see someone with a lot of money making terrible mistakes. Well, you're going to see, little investments like $1,000. They put in the $1,000 today, and then tomorrow they see a little bit of a drop. Oops, they have the fear that is going to go down. Oh my God, Poodle go to the bottom, and they take it out. That's a mistake. Because look, Joe, I mean, why on earth? I mean, just think about it like that. If everybody could think like I am thinking, man, nobody would lose money, because you cannot lose money if you just think properly, okay? So you have this beautiful project, which is Poodle, and you made your research, and you think that everything is okay, and they have a great team, and oh my God, this project is going to go to the moon. But then tomorrow, somehow it goes down 50%, and then you just panic and sell. But why on earth did you buy it in the first place? I mean, why would you just keep the money in the wallet and buy it cheaper if you think that is going down? So that's not how you make money. You don't take it out when you see that you have a 50% drop or 70% drop. Joe, let me just go back to Shiba. I like Shiba as an example, right? Don't think I'm promoting it. I have zero Shiba. I didn't trust it, so I'm not going to promote Shiba. But what I mean is, it's a very interesting the way they did it, right? So it was $1,000 investment, go down to $1. From 1,000 you have $1, and then from $1 you have $1.5 million. I mean, Joe, think about it. I mean, even if you wouldn't take, but if you take out $1 from 1,000, you messed up. Even if you take 200 from 1,000, you messed up. So when you put money into something, don't take it out, because that's not the way it works. You leave it. Okay, you take it out maybe when you end up 10% or 20%, but don't panic sell. And I'm telling you, we have quite few of those, Joe, and it happens frequently in Poodle, because Poodle is still at the beginning when we fluctuate a lot on the price. It can be today, I don't know, 5, and then tomorrow is 12, and then the day after tomorrow is 20, but then the day after that is probably back to 5. So you lost 70%, but it doesn't matter. That's not the way it works. The way it works is that you keep it. And if you really want to sell it, you sell it when you made a profit. Don't sell it before. Otherwise, why would you invest it? Don't touch it. Don't touch your investment. If you put the money onto it, just leave it. Just leave it. Just forget about it. I don't know. I like to tell to some of my friends, just delete your wallet and throw out, the idea that you have anything into that, and just keep the key. And I will tell you when to put it back. I'll tell you when to install the Trust Wallet back. You don't need to look at it every day, because that's how the fear of losing money comes in. When you see your wallet going down to, oh my God, 70% down, 80% down. Really? Oh my God, we are. And John, no one can escape to that, even me. Even me, when I've seen going it down so badly, because I invested it, I put it in first time at 37. So we're talking about 6x from here, no, 8x from here. But let's just think like the other way around. So we was at 1, so that was like 37 times higher than we went to the bottom. I didn't take it out, Joe. What I did is that I kept buying.
Yep.
I brought at 3, I brought at 2, I brought at 1.5, I brought at 0.001. So I completely brought it up all the time. So there is no way you sell once you put your money into something and you sell it in a loss. You just keep buying it, because then when you go up, you're already in profit.
Yep.
So even if you keep buying on the way down. So for example, if we were to 12, let's just give that example, 12, 13, a few weeks ago, and URA, you bought there. Now it's for, oh my God, 66% is gone. It's not gone. It's there. You don't sell it. If you don't sell, you don't lose. Just keep it. Just keep it, hold it, and you're going to back to 13, to 14, and then you sell. But don't sell on the loss.
Yep.
So, it's just good to have that mentality. And then if you have that mentality and you follow that type of a strategy, you always make money. No matter that you go up or down, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter literally where we go. If you go down, you still make money because you can buy cheap. If you go up, you still make money because you already make a profit. So that's the way that I would wish our holders would think. And I really like to help those who sell on a loss, because that's what I am. My concern is not the people that make the profit. I like them because they are smart. My concern is those people that sell on a loss. And there are quite few. It was one guy, I think he bought 220 billion when it was 13 point something. Really, I think he thought that he'd be going to 26, 30, whatever, and we will go there, but he didn't have the patience. And guess what? He sold it, but he didn't sold it at 9, 8, 7. No, he sold it at 4.1, right at the bottom of the bottom, because he thought, okay, now I'm going to lose everything. You're not going to lose. You just keep it, man, because look, it will be 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 12 or maybe 20 again in 2 weeks. Why you sell it? But that's the point. I don't know, Joe, if I could transfer my optimism about Poodle and about how things work, they would be just so well done. But
it's interesting because you would think, since we understand that only 3% of the globe and people in it are even in crypto, you would think that the average crypto person, so even if you're new, would almost want to be along for the ride. They want to be able to tell the story of how they bought it at 4 and it dropped to 1, but they're selling it at 50, right? But yet you see people that freak out, and I wonder if it's because there's a choice. Do you put your $100 or whatever into your 401k, into your property, into your normal retirement, and that, okay, if I at least put it there, it's gonna be there. But you put it into crypto and you freak out. Oh no, now I have to go tell my spouse that it dropped because she asked me on the random day. But 2 days later, if she would have asked you, or he would have asked you, you could have said, oh yeah, it's worth 4 times as much. It's that volatility that freaks people out, and they don't understand it's part of the ride. It's part of, to me, it's actually the excitement. I mean, if we think 20 years from now, when, 20 years from now, cryptocurrencies will be around only 3 times as long as they've been around so far. So we're so new.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's when we actually can say, that's when they'll really be stabilized, right? So now is the fun time where we can tell that story of, oh boy, did we ride it, but it paid off. And especially when you get into the projects that have a purpose, like Poodle does, right? You're going to look back and, it's fun to have the memes that go, how smart you were to get in there, and, the kind of effing legend, memes or whatever. But I mean, those things are actually important, because that's what crypto is right now. And I wish people kind of understood that like, don't sell, throw it in there and forget about it. Throw it in there and let it ride, And I think that would do people so much good.
Exactly. And Joe, is also, I think that the main problem that majority of crypto holders have, they don't have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, you definitely fail. I mean, that is guarantee you are going to fail, or you are not going to make that much. For example, I'm just giving you my example. I had approximately 300,000 DOGE, right? And I brought it for $150. And I sold it for $450. Man, I wasn't stupid. I made 2 times the money back. But the problem is that if I keep the DOGE now, I mean, I don't know, I can do the math, but it's approximately $250,000, right? So whatever it is at the moment. So you would really make a huge difference if you just hold. But no, man, I mean, Alice was happy with 2x or 3x and took it out. Why? Because I didn't have a plan. So it caught me by surprise. I was like, oh my God, wow, how can I? Okay, man, I just made this money. Take it out. No plan, zero plan. So of course, did I make the money? Yeah, I made a bit, but where I could be if I wouldn't sell the Doge, right?
Yeah.
So or other people that sell everything very, very cheap. People that sold the Bitcoin. For example, I remember one story that I read on the newspaper that one guy just brought the Bitcoin with I think it was 26 cents or whatever. Anyway, and he sold it with $2. I mean, that's a 10x. The problem is that 3 days later, the Bitcoin was $100, right? So then he couldn't cope it, and he jumped off the building. Yet the guy was stupid because at the end of the day, he still made a lot of money, but he couldn't cope with the loss because the loss is huge. Why? Because he didn't have a plan. He just didn't know how far Bitcoin is going to go. And you see that in Poodle too, Joe. If you look at it, you can see very clearly what some people does. They buy at 3, they get to 13, they don't sell. So they don't sell. They still think they're going to the moon. But then they see they don't go to the moon, come down to 6, and then they sell at 6. Man, if you didn't sell at 13, why you sell it at 6? Because you was at 13. You already like 4x or 5x. Why you didn't sell that? No, they wait to come down to 6 and then they sell it. So there's no plan. You can see that they didn't make a plan. They just sell it randomly. So and they will buy randomly again. They don't care because they don't think that deep. They are just playing on emotions, and emotions on crypto, man, it's just so dangerous. You don't let emotions to come over you, because that's it. You're just losing. It doesn't matter that you are selling high or selling low. Is the same thing. If you let emotions to come over and you don't plan when you're going to sell or when you're going to buy, that's it. You lost. You just lost.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you lost. Yeah.
Totally agree. So I want to get to one kind of last topic in here, and that's the future. So what excites you about our roadmap of what's coming? What gives you that belief that Poodle is different than all the other ones out there?
Oh, okay. So now you got me heated up. Okay, so now this is crazy, because I mean, we have this guy Moose, which is that name. And he was trying to explain me what he plans to do since the day one that we met online on the Poodle project. And I said, oh my God, this guy, he really have no idea what he's talking about, because who on earth, I mean, maybe I was just thinking about me, is going to care about this augmented reality thing? What are you talking about it, man? I didn't even bother to research, because it was to me, it was like so strange and so crazy that I just didn't want to think about it. But then I just said, okay, so okay, no matter how crazy someone is telling you something, it's better to pay attention at least a little bit. And I follow that strategy. Let me see what he's talking about. So I started to research about augmented reality and this and that. And then he had this sketch of the application. Even at the time, I think, when he was trying to design a kind of a poodle there and moving around, and he shared that to me. Joe, I was completely took off by surprise. I couldn't believe that I can put that little thing into the street next to a person that is crossing the traffic lights or whatever. So I just couldn't believe that it's possible, these things, to put them in the real world. And that got me, which I have nothing to do with that before, Joe, nothing. I mean, I'm not a fan of any type of reality, augmented reality or games or anything like that, nothing. But it got me by surprise. And I started to look into it and I started to play with that. And then I started to share with my friends, and they was much more crazy than me, because they know what they are, they know what this means. And then they started to play with that. So when I see that these serious people, when you see them with a tie and suit, they put Poodle on the train and then they take a picture of it. I said, really? I mean, if they think that is funny and cool, why would I just not pay attention to that? Because you need to think about it. These people, they are very smart, and they take their time, and they keep the phone. I think, many people will say that they are looking like crazy, and they try to put Poodle in a position and take photos. And they are intelligent people. So if they are doing that, I mean, it means that something is there. So that makes me very excited, because when you see your project calling attention to someone who is really smart and intelligent, Joe, I'm telling you that you are into something very, very big. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily for us, we have this guy, Moose, which is extremely talented, man. And he knows how to put things together, and with the help of other people from the team, man, I think we are going to just mash it all out. Oh, you will see, okay? You will see, because it's very, very hard to transfer the excitement, but I can feel it. I can feel it. And I can feel it every day, Joe. It's not like, oh, today I'm disappointed because something happened, because we have a 100 billion thing. So what? Let them sell, let them buy. I don't care about it. I see the future. And the future is very, very bright for Poodle, Joe, in my opinion. I think it's just crazy big, Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that we are really, really going to change the landscape with the augmented reality app, the kind of entertainment value that goes with it, the NFTs. Like, it was very forward thinking at a time, and now it's becoming popular. So now is the time to kind of jump into it, especially before kind of that wave drops. But it's going to set a whole new realm, and I really love it. I love exactly what is going on. And it's going to set us fully different than any other token out there, completely different. And I think that's
definitely, Joe.
Yeah,
definitely. And you know what? It's also the entry point, because this is also important for people to understand. We are so low at the moment that the entry point is absolutely exceptional. So, I mean, just for them to understand, I brought it 8 times higher than this first time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are very, very low in comparison to where we can really go. Even the all-time high, it will look a little bit of a blip on the chart when we are going to run up, because it's just so low. We have so much room to grow. And people need to realize that too. They need to look into this, because it's very important. You don't invest into a project that is already $8 billion market cap. You cannot make money onto that project. You can probably do a bit, like 10%, 20%, 50%, go back down to where it was. But there is no way that project can go to 30, 40, 50, 60, $80 billion market. It's impossible to 10x from here. While Poodle, man, when we are going to 100x from here, it's still absolutely nothing compared to others. So we still have another 100x to go from there, because it's a room to grow, which not many projects in the market have that. And that's what I think people should realize, because if they don't, they are going to regret for a very, very long time. Just think about it. If you go like 100x from here, okay, you still can get Poodle, but it's not the same. It's very important. The entry point is exceptionally important. And this is a perfect entry point. Even 30 is a perfect entry point, which is 8 times from here. Even 100 is a perfect entry point. You miss all these things, fine. But then you missed your one life opportunity that you can really make a lot of money from absolutely, or very little, or nothing, right? It's just so nice. It's just such a great thing, and Poodle is offering us that opportunity. It's just there, and it's going to happen.
Totally agree. And I think that's something people should recognize. Like right now, for example, $500 gets you about 8 billion Poodle or so. Well, at 100x, that's only gets you 80,000 of them. Like, that's huge difference, right?
Exactly. And that is nothing. Trust me. Even that, if you think about it, so you are going to take 8 billion today, you are going to make 80,000. That is going to be still in a very, very good position to chart when you can still make money, right?
Absolutely.
But not when you make not when you make I don't know, when you'll probably have to 5 or 6 or 7 billion market cap, and it will happen in Poodle. Those who are skeptics, they are going to regret for a very long time. Like I said, it will happen. Poodle have room to grow, and once we reach that momentum, Joe, that the holders will outplay the sellers and these day traders. That's it. There is no matter. It doesn't matter how much they will sell. It doesn't matter. They can sell whatever they want to sell. They are not going to outgrow the holders' position, because holders' positions are very important. The more we can take off the market and keep it in our wallets, the less chance that someone can sell something. So soon as we cross that line, and when not many sellers are there to speculate and to day trade, that's it. We're going up. There is no other way around, right? So when it's not Poodle for sale on the market, you're going to pay the price because otherwise you have no Poodle, right?
Yep.
So it's very simple as that,
Yep.
And that's going to happen very soon now. Very soon.
Yeah,
very soon.
It's going to be exciting when this app and that roadmap hits. I really anticipate the end of Q1 is going to be night and day from what we are right now. We won't even recognize the token at that point, and we'll forget I can't wait. I think we all can't wait. We all know.
Exactly.
We're all here. We're just in that waiting period right now. So I know I'm running you long, but I need to take a question from the audience that came in on the chat. So. Sammy Gertz says here that your voice is sexy. Where are you from, and can we get an AR Alex?
Oh my God! Okay, long listen. Okay, so I am living in United Kingdom. I came to United Kingdom approximately 30 years ago, and I am there ever since. I came from Europe. I'm not going to say the exact country because that's really not relevant. But thank you for the feedback. I don't know about this AR Alex. I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, I'm very excited about this. I mean, I'm just speaking the way I feel. I just feel excellent about it, and I'm telling my friends the exact same thing, and probably they can feel it too because. Joe, look, listen, I'll tell you a little story, okay? I have one guy who barely knows what crypto means. And he initially invested and he got 8 billion in Poodle. You know what? At the moment, he has 260 billion and counting, still buying. Mm-hmm. That guy knows absolutely nothing about crypto. He don't care. All he cares is to have as much Poodle as possible. And you know why? Because when he was at the bottom, I said to him, look, now is your time to buy, man. I understand that you brought it at 30 and now you're down because he brought it very quickly after me, very shortly after me. But now is the time to buy. And he keep buying. And he brought, and when he see, Joe, that from that 1.1 where he brought the last bag, he went to 12, 13. He's just so hyped up. He cannot believe it. He said, imagine when I go back to where we was at 65. He's already in a huge, massive profit, talking hundreds of thousands of dollars already. And he still don't plan to sell. Mm-hmm. He already made his plan approximately to 2,000 to 3,000. And that is approximately 400x from here. Mm-hmm. That's the plan he have. He don't care, you see? So that's what I like, because you can explain people. And if they can get that, that's it.
Yep.
Because it's just so easy. You don't even need a lot of mathematics here. It's just easy. You buy what you can afford to buy. Don't put your mortgage money into it. Buy just what you can afford and then hold. Yep. When you can afford to buy more, and just hold. Don't sell. Don't bother for now. You have your time. Make your plan when you get out. I don't know. Put it there, 150x, 100x, 50x from here. Make a plan. And then you get out. It doesn't matter. But just make that plan before you actually press that sell button, because you don't do that unless it's really really important for you to get out early. I don't know, Joe. I wish I could transfer my positivity to other people because it's just so exciting,
You know what? I think that you did. You have done nothing but bring your positivity to people, because, I haven't had anyone come on the chat and tell me my voice is sexy yet. And I have not had anyone say that we need an AR me as part of our Poodle stuff. So, I mean, already you've got that, and you've only been on one episode. So, there we go. There is that. So I guess just the very, very, very last question for you. And I just want you just quickly, then just some advice. One, how can people find you on the Telegram? Are there other socials they can find you? If there are, let us know. Or have they find you on the TG for to talk more? And then just how about some advice? Just some quick advice. I know you've said it, the just to hold and all that, but I love just advice that we all can do. One tangible takeaway that we can do this week to help the project.
Okay, well, number one is to buy, because this is a very good point to buy. It doesn't matter that I am I can be probably wrong that someone will decide to sell tomorrow and then we drop another 20 or 30%. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Trust me, guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that we drop 20, 30% today, but we will go up in the 1 year or, I don't know, a few months time, probably 100x or 200x or 1000. And that's what you need to look for. You don't care about the drops. You just don't care. So that's one advice that I can really say. Okay, not financial advice, because everybody say this crap. Okay, this is not financial advice. Please don't take it. Okay, it's not the financial advice. That I do, and that I'm doing. I'm keep buying it because it's very important for you to buy now. It's low. The price is low. Now is the time to buy. Now is not the time to sell. Mm-hmm. We talk about selling when we go after 1,000 or 1,500, which is 150x or maybe 300x from here. You don't think about selling now. Now is the time to buy. And then you have time to sell when we will go up. There is plenty room for selling, right? So that's my advice. If they don't take that, fine, that's okay. They don't need to take. It's just, not a financial advice, like you say. It's just something that I think is going to happen, and it will happen. It's inevitable. Joe, trust me. If you look on crypto, we have 3,300 projects on CoinMarketCap, keep growing like the mushroom after the rain. So if you look at it, none of them, very few of them, they have the potential of Poodle. Mm-hmm. It's just a reality. It's just something that it's on our hands now. I remember it was this token. I don't even know how it's called now properly, but I think it's BAT, BAT. That token was so low at one point, and I said, "Wow, man, this is a perfect time." And it was. I think it was 100 so X's from the bottom of the bottom. It happens, you see. Mm-hmm. So when you really go into this kind of project very, very early, like Poodle is now, you're going to win. Mm-hmm. It's inevitable. You cannot lose. It's impossible because you have a team which is dedicated. You have a very, very great map on the front of us. The roadmap is excellent. If you just look at it carefully and analyze it, you are going to see that it's perfect. And you have these people that are driving it forward without getting paid. Joe, just remember, in our project, nobody makes things for money. I don't talk for money now here. Nobody paid me. You don't do it for money. And it's just that we're driving our investment forward because we are excited about it. And when you have these things coming up together, big things happen, Joe. Trust me. Because you are not working for getting paid. You are working because you like it. And it's a big difference.
Yep.
The fact that you work without being paid because you like to work, because you really want to build something up, that's when great things happen. Yep. And that will happen in Poodle. It's inevitable. And like I said, it's one of the very, very, very few, if ever, projects on crypto that have this potential. So low, 3.5 million market cap at the moment. Man, Poodle easily can get to 1-2 billion without even blinking of an eye in a matter of weeks. It can. It has the room to grow. It can. That can happen in many projects. That can happen. No matter how much money they have. They can have billions or millions, to invest in advertising. It doesn't matter. It's not going to happen to them because it's already too high, too hyped. They can make too much grow, probably 10x, 15x. Who cares? We do that did you see last time when we ran up, it happened to us that we went 10x in like 3 days.
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
That's Poodle. And that's nothing. You've seen nothing yet, guys. You'll see. Okay, you'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to say anymore because look, otherwise we keep talking until tomorrow. But it's just like
I could keep talking to you till tomorrow, but I do need to end the show because I have to actually go back.
Yeah,
to work.
Sure.
This is so good, so good. So I just want to I want to thank you for coming on. This has been a pleasure talking to you. It's always great interacting with you on the Telegram and all that, and you're just a huge asset to our community. And I just, I will say in closing to everybody, I totally agree. The one takeaway from me off this conversation is obviously hold, but that's the obvious, but, have a plan for selling. We don't talk about, we use sell as a bad word, but at some point you do have a plan. Figure out how you can make money. We're on this early, and if we're in it early, we deserve a payday at some point, but that's got to be at some point down the road. And what you got to recognize, if we get to where the other tokens are, where the volume is there, where our 100x happens, because we know it can happen, we can get to that billion, 2 billion market cap. Relatively simple, as Alex just said. The thing is, the number of buyers and the base of buyers are there. If we have 400,000 holders, you're right, 500,000 holders, there's a base of buyers to make it where you're selling isn't an impact to the token, isn't an impact to the price. You're able to take your profit, you're able to plan out your profit. And that's a big difference. That actually then helps the token, right? To get that volume going at levels like that. So, right now, maybe it is a bad word right now, but later have that plan. I think that was really, really good advice. So cheers to you, Alex. Again, thank you very much for coming on the show. And we will see you, everybody, on the flip side. You have a great week. And of course, we'll see you all next week. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.